Yeah, so I went to a gig last night, lads, and I know what you're thinking. Where was I? Wembley Arena.
Yeah. Brixton Academy.
Brixton Academy. Maybe
Alexander Palace.
one of the great. Well, I was at the fourth great.
Okay.
I was at the Bletchingley Town Hall.
Oh, wow.
And what was great is that the band comprised of a big fat hairdresser. Her mum was in there, aged 70. The guitarist, probably about aged 80 to death. And his name was Steve. He's the one that put the band together. And I think that's why they called the band Full Steve Ahead.
Oh, wow.
Played a selection of 80s hits. And what? No, don't take the piss, right? Because what was great about it was, all the kids were sliding around on their knees. That's when you know it's party time.
Yeah.
And of course, my mate's mum came and started dancing with her 9-year-old niece. Classic.
Yes.
Party time.
Nice. A bit of the old 1 foot wiggle.
Oh yeah. But the funniest thing about it all was obviously Full Steve Ahead. He had got matching T-shirts for everyone in the band, and on the back of it, it's a very familiar image. They had stolen the front cover of the Black Hack RPG and just changed it, and it said Full Steve Ahead.
No way.
Are you shitting me?
I'm not. I don't think he knew what it was, but when I came in, I was like, hang on, is there RPG fans? Oh no,
They're an RPG band.
he's just stole the artwork.
Is it the hand?
Yeah, because it's doing the horns on the
Yeah.
cover, so I think that he saw that and went,
Cool
that's
art.
cool.
I'm having that.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one will know.
No one will know.
Full
But
Steve Ahead have got nothing to
Have you
do
got a
with Dungeon
Pikachu
Dweller.
array of this?
Oh shit! I probably should have. I'll show you. I've got a video of it because I just thought
good.
I should. But actually, it was really bad. But I think what we should do is threaten to sue them
Yes.
unless they change their logo to like a different RPG.
Yeah.
like a bad one.
No, unless they change the logo to our logo.
Yeah, that'd be, and then change the name to 3 T's Ahead.
Right. That's a good
But
idea.
yeah, great gig, good
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I did spend most of it at the back of the room playing Shadowverse on my phone. The wind is blowing the screen. Right, let's do a podcast, shall we?
Yes.
I think it's about time, to be honest.
Hello and welcome to the 3T RPG podcast. My name is Harrison Hunt and with me is Slick Man Meat, Nick Lamley,
Slick Nick. Hello.
and of course we've got Jimmy Clizzle up in the hizzle.
Oh, what's up?
Weenie in the butt. We're gonna today, right? We are gonna finally figure out which is better, phantoms or operas.
Okay.
But in addition to that, this is a podcast about tabletop RPG, so we're going to be doing feedback, we're going to be doing news punch, we're going to be doing what we've been playing recently, and the main subject is going to be the worst RPG you've never heard of.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to love it. And then we've got lecture letters where we're going to talk about your mailing. But should we do some feedback?
Please.
Come on.
So last episode we did an episode all about comedy, quote unquote comedy games, and Ace, he says, just getting into this week's episode reminded me of the weirdest and least funny comedy campaign I ever played. We were all mute and could only communicate through mime, and we all had hilarious traits like always interrupting. Miming was hard enough, but then trying to communicate a character flaw through mime, the DM got a little annoyed when we were talking, saying, I would like to walk over there and open the door. He was like, mime opening a door. Then Ace goes in all caps here and he says, I'm not a fucking mime in real life, Terrence. Let me ask for things. Terrence. Fucking Terrence.
Oh, Terrence.
Oh, mate. Do you reckon the GM just couldn't be bothered and he just thought, oh, this is going to take him ages to do anything?
Yeah, well, that's a good tip, though. If you've only got a tiny bit of position planned out, make everyone doing it in mime. Complete silence the whole time.
Through the medium of mime.
Yeah, and then just opening a door is going to take ages.
If you're fed up of stank breath or just the sound of someone's voice,
Mime.
Which I frequently am.
Mime it.
But also, I think it's a bit fucking hypocritical. The GM should have mimed all his descriptions.
that's true.
Can you imagine that?
How would you mime a D20? Like roll attack roll. Yeah, Nick's just done a sphere, and then they roll a D100, and you're up shit creek without a.
He'd be there just being like, 3 words, 2 syllables.
yeah, but then you can't say anything, so you're just like,
It devolves into charades.
okay, hallway. Yeah, we're in a hallway. Good. Right, well, that is it for feedback.
Oh, okay.
The only other bit of feedback we had was on Facebook. So, during the recent game, not Facebook, Discord, during the recent game that we played, I set up my end of the table because I'm a player now. I set up with a ridiculous amount of decorations and props and things like this.
Yep.
And everyone was saying, who the fuck does he think he is? Is he the GM or the GM's brother and shit like this? And like, just so you know, everyone on the Discord, fuck you. I'll do what I want.
Do you want to mention that one?
No. So let's do some news, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
Right, News Punch. Drive-Thru RPG and Roll20 are getting married.
Oh, what?
So we all know about DTRPG, right? It's the biggest online RPG platform, and Roll20 is the biggest VTT, so it should come as no surprise that they're merging.
Oh.
There's a bunch of really boring business shit with the CEOs of both companies changing their positions with the new super company, which is what they're calling it. But what will it actually mean for us players and GMs and shit? Well, Drive-Thru Roll RP20G is going to...
That was fucking good.
In the near future, add VTT support for all of your DTRPG library, allowing you access to PDFs via the Roll20 platform.
Oh, that's sexy.
Meaning that you can cherry pick certain books and pages and give them as handouts within Roll20.
Very
it's
nice.
actually really good because you spend a lot of time using the snipping tool. Now you just click a box
Put
and
it straight out.
So
Does that mean our game will be on Roll20?
I think you have to go back and add support for it.
Damn.
And so I might.
Yeah.
I might put don't on Roll20.
I hope that there's no additional paywalls that get built.
Ooh.
Well, because in Fantasy Grounds, even if you own the book and own the PDF, you still have to buy it on Fantasy Grounds, don't you?
Well, if you're listening,
Roll20
DTRPG and Roll20 beep, so please don't, because
Roll20 is expensive.
they'll make you stay
Anyway.
great.
Yeah, Roll20 is expensive for what it is.
If you want to buy, like...
But as far as I know, they shared up some mock-up screenshots, and they were like, it just looked like there was a window that pops out of DTRPG. You just click import into game, and that's it. So hopefully
it's not too expensive. I remember being quite upset when I had to fork out about 50 quid for Call of Cthulhu, and I thought, I've already got the book.
Yeah,
paying 50 quid
well, exactly.
for the online stuff, but there you go.
So hopefully it'll be good.
When's that? We got time frame?
There probably was one in the news article I stole this news from.
Yep.
No, I don't think there was. I don't think there was. So they're just saying it's in development now.
Happening.
Yeah,
It's pretty tasty.
Yeah,
It's
that
good
should be
news.
interesting. Yeah, that is good news.
New TSR goes full KKK.
Shut
They're back. It's your boy TSR. So they've gone full Ku Klux Klan on your ass.
Right.
And just bear with me for a minute because this gets a little bit complicated. Because I don't mean to muddy the waters here, but there's yet another TSR.
For fuck's sake.
So, as we all know by this point, right, Ernie Gygax, one of Gary Gygax's sons, tried to revive the original TSR during a strange time where a number of new TSRs started popping up after the license for the name ran out. Now, we've covered all the goings-on in another podcast, but some highlights of this debacle include perceived transphobic slurs in an interview with Ernie Gygax, Ernie blaming Wizards of the Coast for his lack of success, claiming that he's the victim of a corporate espionage and a smear campaign, Ernie changing the company name to Wonderfilled Inc., but misspelling it on his own website, Ernie arguing his brother Luke on Twitter, with Luke claiming he's dragging their dad's name through the mud, and the PR manager of Wonderfilled calling someone disgusting for being trans. So, doing good stuff. But now the story continues, right? Wonderfilled is currently run by the guy that ran Wonderfield's Twitter, right?
Yep.
The PR manager.
Yeah.
While Ernie, to distance himself, has left and taken up the moniker of TSR3. Which means we're now facing the prospect of there being more TSRs than there are editions of Dungeons and Dragons.
It's getting painful.
I know. But anyway, TSR3, which Gygax refers to as new TSR, like NU TSR, like new metal. No. So it looks like Nutzer when it's written down. He's releasing his flagship product, right? So previously Giant Lands was the one, but that's staying with Wonderfilled Inc., with the PR guy. So instead, Ernie has decided to make a new edition of Star Frontiers, which is a TSR RPG from 1982. And trouble is, right, Wizards of the Coast, who own the rights to that game, actually currently sell POD and PDF versions of Star Frontiers on DTRPG. So Ernie can't really do that.
So why is he saying it?
Should have looked into it.
If we know anything about Ernie, it's unprepared.
Unprofessional. All of the uns. He's got them all.
Unremarkable.
What was funny as well, this isn't related to this news story, but what was funny is they filed a lawsuit against Wonderfield, right? And there
Wizards of the Coast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a post done by Ernie where he was saying that he'd thrown out the lawsuit. He spelled suit wrong and put suet. But yeah, the trouble is, right, so the Wizards, they own all of this shit. So what's interesting is there's a current legal battle with Wonderfield because they attempted to snag a bunch of the copyrights that did belong to Wizards of the Coast, and it's very amusing. The idiots at New TSR announced the reboot of Star Frontiers last year and claimed to have sold out before anyone actually bought it. So there is no evidence, right, to show that this actually happened, and nobody can find anyone who actually owns this new version. So as far as we know, what Ernie has done is he's taken something that doesn't belong to him, tried to publish it, technically didn't, but his PR manager's gone, yeah,
Sold out,
mate.
Well, it's obviously sold out if you never sold anything.
That's technically
That's how
correct.
you look at it.
Yeah.
It's about
he's a very positive.
loophole.
He's very positive.
Yeah.
We sold out of every copy we don't have.
How many copies you got? None.
Exactly.
So that's why they're sold out.
Exactly. And then he just does the David Blaine look to the camera and he
walks away.
Confirmed. Sold out. But yeah, this message saying that they sold out came from Michael Hovermail, which I hope means that he is a man who hovers.
Hovermail.
Or he delivers,
Floating letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saying that the lawsuit has been thrown out.
I'll sue you with a lawsuit.
So Michael Hovermail is the PR shut up for Nutzer, and he also created an account for the N-World forums, the people that do the Ennies, in January, right? Simply to announce that the game was real and it had sold out, being sold solely through Ernie's Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum site. Now this is obviously a lie to create demand for the product, which is still in development. But unsurprisingly, Hovermail hovered out of his position as PR manager after only 6 months, probably because the one stunt he tried to pull failed miserably. And now it's failing even worse because some sections of the new Star Frontiers project were leaked, and I just want to warn everyone there's going to be some pretty strong and horrible language that's about to come up because... so part of it was leaked, and which means it was clearly in development, right? It was never published. It's written by a bloke called Dave Johnson, right? Who I have no idea who he is.
Dave Johnson?
Yeah.
It's a pretty regular name.
Yeah, he's a pretty regular guy, as you'll find out. But I have no idea who he is, and the only credit I could find for him was a production credit for something called Adventurers Club, issue number 16. I don't know what the fuck that is, but anyway,
classic one.
Maybe he's a hidden gem of the RPG industry,
Who knows?
And Ernie's plucked him out of his humble beginnings.
Poached him.
Yeah, Hovermail has hovered him into the. But yeah, so I'll give you some examples of writing from the info link on the Star Frontiers project, all found via the No Hate in Gaming Twitter account, so you can see where this is going. Under examples of races, right, we see the cyborg, the grey alien, reptilians, and of course the Negro.
What?
No, it's the classic alien race.
Oh
I mean,
what the fuck?
where it says they're dark-skinned, have large strength, but have lower intelligence than all other races. But wait a minute,
Wait,
right? Because
hold on.
in his defence, it's only slightly lower than all the others, so it's only a tiny bit racist, or it might be massively racist. I don't know.
Fucking hell.
But additionally, beneath the Negro, right, are the Nordic race.
Yep.
And they all have attributes that start at 13 plus, and they're blonde-haired, blue-eyed super people who are the master race.
Oh,
Cracking.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm sad.
Oh my God.
This is Gary Gygax's legacy right here. This is such a shame.
Oh my God, what's happened?
But there's a quote from the How to Play section, right, that says playing a character is more than just using the rules, and follows up with the following quote. Is the character you play a barbarian space pirate? A noble hero of the line? Are they an SJW warrior pushing their values on others? You can just see he's now I'm willing to bet. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, probably owns a few guns.
Probably.
And a few flags.
And just a couple of red hats with a little phrase on them.
He's got a tiny moustache.
And a tiny penis.
Tiny, yeah, almost certainly. But on the slightly less obviously right-wing stuff, right, there's a section that mentions that the GM's word is final, right, and ends by saying this: remember, no one likes know-it-alls, and no one likes playing with know-it-alls. But the great, I mean, that's good advice. But the great thing about this is he spelt know-it-alls as in N-O, so it says know-it-alls.
Know-it-all.
So he's a know-it-all, the way he puts it. That's somebody that says no to everything. He knows it all.
Yeah. Do you want to go out?
No.
Or is it no wit?
Yeah. Yeah. He's got no.
He's got no wit.
No wit-alls.
No wit.
No whittles. There's no whittling allowed at the table.
So well, that's good advice for anyone. But yeah, if it is a know-it-all as in K-N-O-W or an N-O, both are bad. Because if somebody comes to the game and just says no to everything, it's going to get annoying.
And if they know everything, then they're not allowed to turn up.
Yeah, because they won't be there.
Yeah.
They're a
You
know-it-all.
come in, no.
It's also just flat out says, right, that there are races in the game that the races in the game are like real world races. He just flat out says it.
Wow.
And I quote, this is a quote: some races are better at things than others, and some races are just superior to others.
Oh my god.
What a guy! And there is really nowhere to hide here, right? Because at least, the other ones that we've talked about, they tried to say, no, I'm just nationalist. I love other people. And it's like, well, this guy's just like, nah, I'm the best race.
I'm going to give you lots of classes. I'm going to give you lots of races to choose from, but make some more appealing than others because some are just not as good.
Oh,
I mean, come on. Where's the balance?
Where's the balance? But so you're looking at it from a gameplay stand,
A little bit, yeah. But also, obviously the outrageous racism.
But yeah, and you might think it ends there, right? But in the description for the attributes, right, under the theology stat, and this really confirms this sort of Trump status here, because it mentions that there are secret cults, as in like positive secret cults like the Freemasons, but then it says, and also radical groups like Antifa or BLM.
Oh god.
Nice guy.
Nice guy.
I mean, no matter what way you slice it, that's not a popular opinion.
No.
But there is also part under the looks stat, as in how good looking your character is, right? And all of the things that are listed that might be negative to your looks are stereotypes of Africans, African Americans, and Jewish people.
Wow.
So, cool guy. Overall, most anticipated game of 2022, I give it 2 thumbs up.
I'll give it 2.
Want to play an Aryan?
I'll give it 2 Hitler salutes and a
swastika.
and a swastika. But now there is a reason. I'm sorry this news story's going on along a bit, but it was just as I dug more, it was just blowing my mind.
Yeah, over and over.
I was like, Ernie, just fucking proofread it once in a while. I mean,
he just needs to stop.
Yeah, he does. And his mate Dave he's dragging he's gonna have to separate again and start another TSR.
TSR's 3 squared.
Yeah. TSR to the power of 23.
Fuck's sake.
So now there's a reason I couldn't find much out about Davey Johnson, but it's because his stuff under Dave Johnson Games has predictably been removed from DCRPG.
Of course it has.
Which is understandable, but it gets even worse than what we've seen so far, right? Because when the Star Frontiers leaks happened, right, people started looking at Dave's social media, and the hateometer, right, has gone right off the charts. Even Varg Vikernes isn't this openly.
He's blushing. Yeah.
He's like, whoa, calm down, mate. For example, he shared an image, and I'll try and talk around this, but it is quite shocking how open this is. But it says it's okay to. He shared an image on his Twitter, right, saying it's okay to be white, and it's not. Oh God, it's so bad.
Fucking hell.
It's not okay to be a goddamned. And then there's a Jewish slur that sounds a bit like kite.
Oh wow.
Or a. Let's just say it rhymes with bigger.
Yeah, wow.
Right? He says it's not okay to be either one of those things, and I'm sorry for saying all of that, but I think you need to see how openly racist this man is. And he's not even the sort of like type to go, I'm not racist, but he's like, I am racist,
but.
And
I want to add to that.
I am racist, and please buy Star Frontiers.
Fucking hell.
He also shared images of gollywogs, an image of Nazi soldiers, right, with the phrase "Don't make white kids angry" on it.
Fuck me, man.
Yeah.
It surprises me that people like this still exist.
Yeah, it's because certain areas of the world there are certain states, for example, please don't hate me for this, but they're all lean in one direction, and it's just like an echo chamber. So their views get worse and worse and worse and worse, and it's just like, listen to what you're saying. There you go. He also shared an image saying, loving your culture and placing your race first doesn't make you racist. Now, what's funny about that is loving your culture, yeah, that doesn't make you racist. No. Placing your race first,
that does.
Literally is
that
racism.
Is literally racism.
So this might be the most openly shitty person I've ever seen in the RPG industry.
Yeah.
At least some of the other bad guys we've spoken about are like trying to put a veil over it. But Dave Johnson, you're a nutter. And also, it's rough for Ernie Gygax, right? Because think about it. He's had all this controversy, and now he's thinking, right, we're going to knuckle down and actually make a game.
Bring Dave in. I've heard good things about
He's
him.
made a lot of products. Haven't read them, but I'm sure the content's great.
Haven't read him. Haven't really met the guy. Not really sure what he's about.
He comes into the room wearing a Gestapo uniform.
Yeah, he's like, Dave, I don't want any controversy. Can you deal with that?
Yeah, I can do it, but let's just say there might be a couple of things you will not see coming.
and it flies straight over. Guy gets his head, and then he's like,
okay. Lou's over there, Kettle's over there. Have a good one. See you later.
And I won't even check the post you put out because I trust you.
Yeah, that's his problem.
Like a kind guy. It was the mustache that set him at ease.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what it is about his.
We should try and get hold of him and go, just stop what you're doing and come to us. You're making a mess.
He won't be happy. I'm a quarter Polish.
Oh, fucking hell, you're in trouble.
The Nazis invaded Poland. He will shoot me dead.
How's he feel about the Irish?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
I'm fucked too, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes without saying, doesn't it?
We're all multicultural here. We're fucked.
Yeah, that's the trouble. And as we all know, I'm the best race.
As we all know, I put race first. My own.
No, but what is the best race? Egg and spoon?
Life.
100 metre dash?
The sack race, come on.
There's a race of sack people.
Yeah.
Alright, well, that is it for news.
Ernie, stop.
Please stop. Please take your dad's name out of your mouth. Yeah. So, let's go on to what we've been playing.
Yeah.
And have one of these. Oi, yeah? What you slaying? We've been playing Savage Pathfinder.
Oh, mate.
Tell me.
It's wicked.
It's so we spoke about it recently, and like, is it in person at the table? I was saying how it's really nice on session 0 when we built our characters and we're just getting a taste of what Savage Pathfinder is about. Now, bear in mind, we didn't actually get to do too much in terms of really exploring all the rules and everything, new edges and how they work and hindrances and all that stuff. But it was just like, it was really exciting to sort of dip our toes in. But the most recent sesh, man,
amazing.
I think it's built well.
So good.
It is built well.
Tell me,
what's cool is that instead of being sort of blind to what Pathfinder is actually like, you know, like it's about playing super fucking hero
Legendary.
RPG characters. Yeah. And they, instead of just going, okay, it's the setting bit in Savage Worlds, they tried to emulate how powerful the characters are and things like this. So
nice.
One of the new edges, for example, is that Tobuscus, his character Cy Thatcher, he's a fighter.
Yeah.
And he's got an edge that allows him, and I think this is a new one, I'm sorry if it isn't, but it allows him the one-time use of any combat edge once per encounter. Whoa. So
and it lasts for 5 rounds or some shit?
Yeah, 5 rounds.
Shit.
So he can basically
just borrow any move
as long as
wants.
he has the ability and the attributes to have that as an edge.
Level, yeah.
He can
use
just
it.
He can choose whatever.
It. Straight out of whatever he likes.
One time during the session, James said, I'm going to use sweep on these enemies, forgetting that it was an edge. He just thought it was a manoeuvre, so he did a sweep, and then afterwards I was like, good, nice one picking that edge, and James was like, what?
So we had to gloss over it because it was like too far gone.
But then Tobuscus saw that happen and he was like, was that sweep used earlier? That's an edge, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, right, I'm going to use that now then. Just like, so he runs in and just, we are fighting these slimes in this cave and he runs in and just absolutely obliterates. Well, you both did, really.
Yeah.
I put one in a bag. I've also I also found a wand that Sean's got this huge. He's the GM, by the way, but he's got this huge list of random items.
Nice.
I tell you what, they're fun as fuck.
I've got one. I think it's fairly useless, but it's a one that shoots bubbles out of it.
Yeah.
And I so far haven't put it into any practical use because I don't think it has. Well, I stuck it in one of the slimes.
And you shined my shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Slime into a bubble, nice.
Well, because when I think of those bubbles, right, I think of like the washing up liquid bubbles. So because I'm their torchbearer, I sort of woved it around James's shoes and shined his shoes. Sean was like, right, the walk from there on is easier because your shoes are well kept. But Harrison, so James lost fatigue, and then I got his fatigue from shining his shoes.
I was like, oh, thanks.
Just move it up.
Yeah. It's really tasty, and I mean, Savage Worlds generally is a bit of a tough one in terms of enemies, but because it's Savage Pathfinder,
this is like you're slicing through loads of enemies at once.
Yeah.
It's like
because we had like 0 level slimes, but their abilities we realised, like at least one of them tried to hit us, and it was an acidic attack. So like an acidic fist like bulged out of it. But I mean, they had like no toughness, no parry, so to kill them was easy, but there was quite a lot.
There was loads of them.
Much explosions.
There was one actually. Funny enough. No. I thought you meant actual.
Dice. I mean.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
But we so the storyline of the game is that James is basically the town's only sort of policeman, and then we've got the community support officer, which is James Tobuscus's character, and then my character, who is their torchbearer.
It's just guards, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's a big hierarchy.
So we used to have this deal with the goblins where they made stuff for us, where that we got on. We had this symbiotic relationship. Suddenly they've gone mental. We don't know why, but we think it's something. So the mayor thinks it's something to do with the Earth Crystal.
Okay.
We don't know what that is, but we have to go up to the Goblin Mountain.
Yeah,
it's all like myth and legend at this point.
Yeah,
excellent. I don't know what this is, but I've heard stories.
Learning as you go,
What was nuts though? So we get there, right, and fucking all the goblins, they are mental. They've gone nuts. And so we blew them up using sort of a smoke bomb and then the fire damp in the cave, like a methane.
Made it like an
I lobbed the smoke bomb in there, and then he whacked his torch on it, and then it just went boom, and
ignited it all.
But the Earth Crystal, they were around it all, guarding it, and their king and all this shit. And out of the crystal pops this sort of Earth guy,
Earth elemental looking like a Grim Reaper kind of thing.
And what was funny was so we dispatched the goblins, and this sort of blew our minds, our drunken minds by the end of it. But we dispatched the goblins, and the Earth elemental starts. Originally, he attacked us, right, and actually killed me.
Dead.
But you'll see what happens.
Okay.
But he originally attacked me, but then we start talking to him, right? And he
stop all that.
That's so funny.
He tells us, right, and he brings me back from the dead, and my character's lived like a really shit life. So he's going up towards the pearly gates, loving it. Can't believe it's like, and then suddenly he gets dragged back to Earth, and he's like, "No,
I'm back."
It was described that an orb of light goes into every character, but specifically, because Harrison was the only one that died, he comes back, but we're all completely healed.
So
we're like, what the fuck?
This Earth Elemental guy, he's telling us that apparently there's a problem with all the crystals, that the great evil has seeped into them, and that we need to go and sort everyone out by being in the vicinity of it, because we are apparently the fated heroes of light.
Yeah.
What?
And then my character's like, but I'm a torchbearer. How can I? Better look at me, man.
Are you crazy?
And then like, because of the hierarchy where Harrison's at the bottom of the pack, and then like, I'm at the top, we don't really ever talk to each other. We talk through Tobuscus. It was like really nice kind of moments, and it was funny because Harrison didn't realise the dynamic later, but it was like during that point I was like, no, listen what he's saying. We're all heroes. That's you too.
And my character starts like crying a happy tear, and then a moment later I go to speak to him, and he's like, "Shut up."
Yeah, just like it's like, "Watch your mouth."
I was saying outside, I don't know when it's okay to speak most of the time. So, but anyway, so it gets to the end of his spiel, and he's like, "Right, you've got to go to the Dwarf Kingdom." So we're going to go there, and then just as we're leaving, James's character's like, "What's your name, mate?" And he just goes, "My name is Hubert."
Hubert.
What of it?
Hubert.
Yes.
Hubert. No way. Call of
There you
Cthulhu. Oh my god.
And so apparently now
Fucking hell.
he's become a god.
my arm like that.
Yeah.
And because he was sitting there, and then I was just slowly turned towards Sean, just like,
Really?
But we were so he's apparently, while he's been in Planescape, he's become a god. So that's good.
Yes.
but there's 6 in total.
Yeah, there's 6. So that
gods.
is basically where we're at, and we don't know who the others are, but we'll see. We'll see.
Sean
pretty
Stephen
cool.
King Hunt.
I did say to Sean that he's used the character that was in one of my campaigns. So there's
Plagiarism.
a copyright issue.
I was going to say
here.
it's a copyright conflict here. We need to.
I'm going to sue him. I'm going to sue him.
So why don't you throw a lawsuit?
It's going to saute him.
Yeah.
I'm going to saute him like a good meme. But yeah, that was Savage Pathfinder.
And yet again, if you haven't checked it out, do.
Check it.
We've literally still only sprinkled the little dusty surface.
Yeah, and you like.
Can I? Oh, I don't know. I don't mean to sound like an old man here, but can I say it rocks? Okay,
Rock on, everyone. Rock
all
on.
right. Yeah,
Tiny
rad.
ones. That's rad. That's a rad.
We're doing really tiny rock horn symbols.
This is terrible radio. My Hyperborea Kickstarter finally came, which means we're going to start.
Fucking lovely.
The next episode on this channel will be an actual play. It's not going to be the sort of random type one we did with Isle of Dread. It's going to be back to our normal stuff.
Back to basics.
So yeah, we're going to go Hyperborea, and the books came. So this is a AD&D first edition retro clone with a very, very cool baked-in setting that is somewhere between like He-Man and Thundar the Barbarian and things like this.
Yeah.
And it's all set on a flat Earth, basically, that floats in the middle of our galaxy, and it's barbarians. It's got loads of spell casting classes, like 20 classes in there.
It's amazing.
Weird enemies. There's a name generator there as well, and I got some pretty strange fucking names. What's great is because I already mostly know the system. I'm just reading it and reading the fluff material and what they've done differently and things like this, and it's just beautiful.
So far, so good.
And what's great is, I must have kickstarted about a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
And they just delivered it. The book looks nice. I paid for postage ahead of time, like any normal human would.
Yeah.
Like I did with Dark Trails, which I still have not received, despite the fact.
What happened?
But David Beatty, he did tell me he was gonna send me a POD copy. Where is it, David?
Hello.
Wait. Oh yeah, you're waiting for your code.
Yeah, I am. Or at least my 60 quid back from 5 years ago. Yeah, Nick, you're looking at the Hyperborea. The full title of it, by the way, is Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. But it's very much based on like the old Conan comics in terms of art. But what do you think about the presentation, Nick?
It's fantastic. I like the discoloured pages. They're not quite white. They're off-white.
Yes, yeah. I thought that was a nice thing.
I like the death metal logo in one of the beginning
There's
pages.
Splashes of colour pages in it. It's obviously got like it's still got a sci-fi feel to it, even though it's
got sci-fi elements to it. Because like how in He-Man and She-Ra and all of that, they had some sci-fi elements just sort of so it's like that. It's weird science. Pulp fantasy is essentially what it is. Yeah,
I'm loving the little like spear designs on page breaks.
It's cool, man.
And they've also done really well with the layout, and every now and then.
Sorry, carry on.
Every now and then they have different levels of artwork amongst the pages, and it's really nice.
There's a really weird bit of artwork I saw though. It's a full page illustration of a wizard, and he looks like he's just been kicked in the nuts. And I really hope that you can find. It's good.
Is that the one in that book where he's holding the staff?
That's it.
There he is.
Look at his face. That is a man who's just sat down too fast.
He sacked himself.
But yeah, I'm very excited to play this.
So
I think
cool.
what's one of the cool things about it is that it has the 4 original classes, but then it has all the sub classes in there as well. So you have a magic user, but then you have things like a rune graver. So you engrave runes on things to make magic.
I was looking at
you have a cryomancer, a pyromancer, like all of this cool stuff.
Nice.
That'd be sick.
I think there is one that is sort of like that, but I don't think it's called that. But yeah, so yeah, you've got loads of different thieves, loads of different fighters, and I think it looks fucking great.
Looks really cool.
Yeah, the next AP that we're going to do is in 2 weeks' time.
Gonna be this.
2 weeks' time.
Very excited.
yeah.
Very excited about this.
Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about was a bit of a faux pas I made at the Savage Worlds game. Where I was a little bit drunk, and there was some biscuits on the table, and I accidentally said, "James, can I have a bissy?" to him.
Bissy.
And we now we think it's like a roadman thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, mate, you got a bissy, fam.
Give me a bissy.
Give me a BC, bro.
So yeah, I thought I'd just put that in there during what we've been playing. So people go out there and use, when you go to the supermarket, just say, "Excuse me, where are the bissies?"
Can you show me the bissy aisle?
Because of we kept using the word bussy.
But as in
Boy pussy.
Oh,
Boy pussy.
oh,
It's a roadman thing or something like that.
I thought you was talking about Busey.
Nah.
Gary Bussy.
Yeah, Gary Bussy.
So that was kind of thing entered his head because.
Well, what happened is it was like about 3. Yeah, so I think I was about to say Bussy and I said Bissy, right? But the what was weird was that we got really hype at a certain point. I think the Final Fantasy music came on and it was like some really sort
shit.
of and we were all headbanging at the table like this, and then James Tobuscus was rolling and he was just sitting there perfectly still, and James and I were headbanging at him.
Yeah, we were like it's like we were like chickens or pigeoning.
Yeah, and then every time he was rolling and he was exploding, we were going right in the bussy.
Yeah, that was
so stupid.
Very nice.
So stupid. But yeah, that is it for what we've been saying. Woo-hoo. Let's do the main subject.
Main. Subject. Magic. Main. Subject. Tokyo. Main. Subject.
Let's do the main.
Are you ready?
Don't are the
That's it.
That's the game.
Are the
I have been using it as a coaster,
I was
yes.
going to say
I've just given Nick the subject that we're going to be talking about today, and I've been using it as a coaster. It happened to be next to my computer. I'm just not disrespect, and the way I just threw it at you, don't worry about that. So, but this episode is about, in no uncertain terms, the worst, most flawed system I have ever played. A system that makes even less sense than Crystal Heart, that is more fundamentally flawed than Don't, and from a mechanical standpoint. From a mechanical standpoint, it fails in just about every regard. And this system you would have never heard of, dear listener, and thanks to us, it's unlikely that it will never see the light of day unless a drastic reworking of the rules is done. The system is Mannerism by Guy McDonnell, and its 18 pages represent 2 years of this man's life. And through a single playtest at a recent con, which we were a part of, he realised that all his work was a pointless, useless waste of time. Before we get into the game, though, it's important that we talk about the story surrounding this, right? Because, anyway. So those that haven't listened to the Expo episode, UK Games Expo, we signed up to play a game called Dwarves Against the Apocalypse using Guy's homebrew system, Mannerism. Now, the game was a political game all about some dwarves in a mine, an impending war, and the struggles between the higher-ups of the dwarves who can't agree on a single course of action. The game started off silly, right? Our opening scenes consisted of a dwarf PC buttering herself up before going into the mine, James's character riding headfirst on a minecart into the mine and going, "Wee!" and one player openly declaring that the mine contained deposits of cheese. Ooh. This character was my political rival. He wanted war, I wanted peace. And while we were setting up our scenes, I alluded to the fact that he had once left some shit in my bed as a hateful prank, right? Now, putting shit in someone's bed is silly humour, but no sillier than anything that had already happened in the game, right? Everyone went silly straight away. But nonetheless, the GM, Guy McDonnell, called me out and created a sour atmosphere, saying, can we just get away from that? Sorry, let me do his voice properly. Can we just get away from can we just get away from the shits in beds angle, right? Now, I've thought about this a bit, and my honest belief is that he was actually unsatisfied with the whole tone of the game that everyone had gone for, that I had also picked up on and joined in with when it came to my turn. He even attempted to call another player out earlier on in the game during his open scene.
I tell you what. So
but this player just went, no, wait, shut up, I'm doing my scene. And I thought they knew each other. The guy was just very assertive.
I tell you what, though, shut it. He was a fantastic player, but. Yeah, he did just. No, just a minute. If you'd allow me, I'm still doing my scene.
Nah, fuck off.
So what happened was, I think really what had happened is the situation for the GM got out of hand. He couldn't speak to that guy because that guy was a fucking alpha Chad, right? So it was like, the very next silly thing that happened,
You got it.
I got it, right? So and you know what? I will hold my hands up and say that there is of course a chance that I read the situation wrong. But I like silly humour. I like sophisticated humour. It depends on the mood. But Guy called me out rather than speak to the whole group, and he soured the atmos for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I do think he's a prick. However, I bring up the story, right, because it's possible anyone listening will think I'm biased towards hating this game because I think Guy's a knob. But I just want you to understand that none of that actually matters, right? The game is going to speak for itself. It fails on its own merits. So forget all of that story, because I'm just going to talk about it. Let's keep it about the game. I'm not going to mention how high he wears his trousers.
Okay.
None of that.
Is that an element? Is that a factor?
Well, I imagine if you're trying to design a game and your trousers are right up by the armpits and your nuts are being crushed like that bloke from Hyperborea book, then you're perhaps you're going to rush certain elements.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it fails in its own merit. So just bear that in mind. I'm trying not to be biased, but this review is not for some petty revenge. But that does happen to be a nice side effect of this game being pretty awful. Yeah. Anyway, with that cleared up, let's review mannerism. So let me read the intro to you guys, because the problems really do start here, and I think sum up entirely why the game failed. Here we go. Mannerism, the habits of acting in a particular way. These are double-edged swords. Knowing yourself and practicing your skills is the path to capability, yet if somebody knows you, they can exploit that, push your buttons and throw you off your game. It is like this with sorcerers. They tend to keep themselves guarded, for someone who knows a sorcerer's methods will surely exploit their weaknesses. Mannerism is a game about conflict. Do you play to your strengths and leave yourself open to a tragic destiny, or keep yourself distant, forever overthinking? Right?
Yep.
Now, on the surface, this seems like kind of a alright intro, but the game is about the GM learning the manner in which players play and exploiting that. But listen to the way it's written, and this guy fucking loves the sound of his own voice. But it's not about him. But on the last sentence there, he says, do you play to your strengths, which means the GM can just counter it and make you fail all the time, or do you do nothing? These are the options the game gives you. Because you're afraid that GM's going to do what he just said in the book and exploit his own system to make you fail constantly. Yep. And we'll get into that in a bit, because the game really is built around those two central things. Do something and fuck up, or do nothing.
Or don't,
Yeah. It should be called Don't, actually. Good name for a game.
This.
Yeah. Well, no, all right then. Well, it would be named Can't Buy This. But we'll get into the rules in a bit. Just remember that because he, within the intro, points out why this game is nonsensical, that the GM can basically decide when you fail. Just keep that in your head while we go through this. And another thing, right? I looked down at some of the playtest credits. One of the names listed, Sam L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson.
That's him.
He played it.
Well, I think it's quite bad. Jacko's not Jacko. Samuel L. Jackson has played this, and we haven't heard about it.
Yeah, why the hell did he tell us?
He's usually very
vocal about many things,
especially RPGs.
Yeah,
we know this.
I love that game.
Somebody get this game off my motherfucking table. Games on a table.
Games on a table. There you go.
So, anyway, the unfortunate thing is that even before we get into the rules, there's a baked-in setting, right? And holy fucking shit. Because I didn't know about this setting, really, before I read the book, because we played an offshoot.
Obviously, like, listening to the title of the game, Dwarves Against the Apocalypse sounds fun and funny and silly.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Sounds great.
Cheese Mines was fine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was good. But him and his wife need to rethink this.
Well, I actually think that mostly he wrote it and she did the layout.
He told me they both wrote it. They both did it during the lockdown.
Guy.
They spent
well, Laura, you're on blast as well, although I'm sure you're very good. But you do have bad taste in men. No, come on, I'm not going to. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. No, I am going to stop being mean. But the baked-in setting. I didn't know about this before because the Dwarves one was actually a spin-off of this game. Right. So the setting is very unintentionally funny, basically, throughout. Helped in a major way by Guy's absolute confidence in his own writing. So there are certain things that are sort of like trying to You'll see. Let's get into it. So the game takes place on a continent called Galcian, and there's power struggles all over the shop. Now, magic users already exist. They're called sorcerers, right? But they have one vital weakness. They can do only one type of magic each, and if you figure out what type of magic they're doing, you can exploit its weakness. So if you're casting fire spells, you better be bloody sure never to go near a lake, basically. Right. Because you get chucked in.
Sound advice.
It's good night.
Yeah, good night, my friend.
You just get put out.
Yeah.
Now, one day, right, these people called the Mystics show up, and they can do all the magic without having to just stick to one school of magic. So when you see a Mystic chucking fireballs and you throw him into the lake, he laughs in your face because he's controlling the water before he even hits the surface, right? Now, even though the sorcerers are supposedly more organised, their big problem, right, is that there's a lot of infighting, and as the book puts it, they keep killing each other in leadership contests. So these sorcerers, they're the smartest people in the land.
Yep.
And basically, they are not the well-read wizards that are in an academy. They're basically the sort of living embodiment of the phrase, "Oh yeah,
you want some?
Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough."
What did you say?
So, which is always followed up by them nuking themselves.
Yeah.
Because once you've started, you can't back down, otherwise you look weak.
No,
so
it's true, yeah.
The sorcerers are just blowing each other up like left, right, and centre. And these magic fuckwits came up with a pretty good plan to get rid of these new mystics, and it was to enact a brutal genocide, killing any children they thought might be a mystic, might have these powers. Now, unsurprisingly, all the other world leaders took one look at these bloody idiots killing themselves and children
and thought,
and decided they weren't allowed spell books anymore. So
we're taking your books away.
Yep. Right. If you can't use it responsibly, well, you can't use it at all.
Right.
You're to the naughty chap.
Stop fighting each other.
Good. 1 minute.
Put that baby down.
He said something about my mum. Okay. Oh no! There goes another city.
Yeah.
But they were going around killing children, each other, blowing up cities by accident to appear cool. And so the solution was to bury all the books underground in a holy place and lock them away forever. No mystics get to do magic anymore, and the sorcerers can barely be trusted with a spork anyway. So problem solved, right? The underground library is called the Poggian Library. Don't know why.
Poggian?
Yeah, the Poggian Library.
Have all the pogs.
Well, I was thinking either Pogs or it's like, you know, on Twitch and YouTube and that, it's like Pog, player of the game. So maybe it's where all the people that have ever won Call of Duty in this universe, that's where they go.
They live.
The Poggian Library, where they play Pogs.
Got you.
That's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, that part wasn't in there, but it's to be assumed.
Okay.
But yeah, and what's fantastic is, right, Guy tries to end on a cool cliffhanger to end this intro, right? Basically, he wants to say the following: and from that point onwards, a prohibition on magic texts was enacted, and for a generation this law was upheld until now. But here's how he puts it: the rule about no spell books has been upheld until now. Now, but the phrase "the rule about no spell books," it sounds like a 5-year-old wrote it.
You know that rule about no spell books?
Maybe one of the sorcerers wrote it.
Yeah.
You know that rule about no spell books, right?
You broke it.
Yeah, because you've got some spell books and you're supposed to have none spell
no
books.
spell books.
Okay? None.
Put them in the Poggian.
Right, lock him in the Pog. It's not Poggers, mate. But yeah, it sounds like a baboon wrote it. And let's get to the rules. Now, the setting, right, as I've mentioned, is very unintentionally funny, as we have discovered. But there's more on it later, and you've got that to look forward to.
Okay, good.
Because it goes places you would not believe. So in this game, right, all players have a potential to be a mystic, and that's just that. You want to be something else, maybe make up your own backstory. Well, suck a big old bag of dicks. You're all playing mystics, right? Not only that, but you start as biscuits,
Misfits,
working in the Poggian Library.
Oh, right.
Now, weren't the books supposed to be locked away so nobody could use them?
Yes.
Well, if you've sealed what amounts to a cache of super weapons deep in the earth, then who are you going to get to do the cleaning down there? The guys that threaten all existence?
Yeah.
The guys that can use it? The guys who almost started a war with the biggest magic idiots in the
guys
world?
that you've locked it away from?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
What is the... And I thought the purpose of locking the books away was because they were dangerous.
Yeah.
But apparently, you just start out working there. For some reason. It doesn't. It's not really many details on what you actually do down there, but anyway. So the game starts. Yeah, you mopping, dusting the books,
burning the cobwebs away.
The toilets.
No. You don't want to have a fire source down a mine or in a library.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so all the stories in this game are going to start out with the biggest weapons in the world falling into the hands of hapless player characters.
Yep.
If you thought, right, that D&D had murder hobos, you wait till the fucking 4 idiots blow up the entire universe. Also, as we've discussed, what work has been done down there, right? These books aren't to be meddled with. They're dangerous weapons. Just throw away the fucking key. Better yet, start a fire in there and walk away.
Walk away, mate, yeah.
Unless, they're combustible magic books, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what are people doing in there? Cleaning. Not only that, but it's so far underground. How do they see? Because you're not lighting a fucking torch in the library, are you? Or carrying a lantern in the library full of paper.
Just assume they've got fully functioning electricity, surely.
Yes. Well, how else are they going to play Call of Duty?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you would be a fucking idiot to bring a fire source down there. It's why libraries in medieval settings now. Tell me if I'm being pedantic here, but they often have light sources like windows.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their security against it. Like, well,
They're
you can't
usually
read
above
what you
ground.
can't see.
There you go.
But anyway, yeah, so the one time, right, you fuck up and trip on a copy of Magic Missile and you've destroyed the whole fucking thing. So it's like fucking stupid, right? But anyway, after he says to pick a character concept, then basically tells you half of your backstory anyway,
Yep.
you have to go on to manners and skills. Now, manners are not as in a house... like a manor.
The manor.
They are your attributes: determination, speed, precision, and so on. Named thus because they describe the manner in which you do something. Now, I know you're trying to be clever there, Guy and Laura, right? But describing the manner in which you do something, that's all RPGs. Sorry, mate, but it's not clever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Determination is will, imagination is intelligence, and so, he's tried to rename them all, and it's not clever, it's just pretentious, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Skills are social, movement, academics, agility, and craft. Craft.
Crot from.
Can you craft me a bissy, please? I'm going to craft a bifter.
A bifter.
But basically, you got 7 points to spend in manners and skills, and then you pick a trait, which is your one unique way. Your character can use one of your manners, basically. Then you pick a specialisation, which is one skill you're particularly good at. Now, the game is diceless, right?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's diceless, it's niceless. It's spiceless.
And it's priceless.
Really, it is, because you can't buy it. Who farted?
Nick!
Fucking Nick. I'm glad we got the windows open. That's appropriate. Do you need to use this to wipe your ass? But here's how skill resolution works, right? Whenever there is uncertainty about a certain action, you either do a test or a confrontation. Confrontation is where you fight the GM in physical tests being like a test and a confrontation being an opposed role, right? But he renamed it because he's just really fucking clever. But so confrontations could be convincing a guard to let you pass, right? So you tell the GM what you want to do, decide on appropriate skill, and then you secretly choose one of your mana cards that are the manners. Hang on, I'm just trying to find them. The manners, the mana cards.
Oh, right, yeah.
These, right?
Okay.
So you secretly pick one of those up, and a GM or another player you're confronting also chooses one of the mana cards, right, and puts one on the table face down. Then you reveal and see what happens. So the cards have kind of a rock paper scissors relationship.
Okay.
So the mana
at random, or do you have to pick one?
No, you pick one.
You choose one appropriate of what you believe is a good idea, and then the GM chooses an opposing one
And
without
you
knowing
compare.
what you've put down.
And you compare.
Then you compare the numbers,
Yeah,
right?
right,
So,
okay.
for example, the mana card speed always loses to consumption, no matter what score you've got. If he's picked consumption, your task is failing.
Right.
So, like, it could be if you're trying to get by the guard and you're trying to leg it through, you fall and you lose something. Or he could decide arbitrarily for no reason that you do succeed but you lose something on the way. Consumption could be that you lose a bit of health because you're tired.
Yeah,
Something
okay.
like
It's consumed something from
Yeah,
you, so time and
your time, your
Effort,
your fucking
stuff, your life,
limited
liver.
life on this planet.
Yep.
But
all of your clothes.
but speed also gets a +2 versus confusion and so on. So you add your skill bonuses, compare the cards. The only difference with the test is that the GM is going to add a difficulty mod to this card while you add your skill bonuses and shit. So
Right.
if, say for example, like a good example would be if I picked, let's just go for speed or whatever. God, I'm trying to find it. This fucking book. Right. Really low quality printing. Okay, so if I used determination, right, That's +2 versus consumption.
Okay.
So if I'm using determination, I pick that as secret. He picks condumption. Push it down on the table, right?
Yep.
And then he's picked 4 difficulty, right?
Right.
I've got +2s, and then I've got maybe 4 in skills.
Yeah.
So that means I beat it.
Okay.
Right. It sounds all right at the moment, but just there's something quite fatally flawed about this because. That's the fundamental mechanic of the game, right? But the first problem is this, right? The cards have 5 statistics each for whether you're doing a test, a confrontation, or a magic test. Because when you're confronting someone, they're using manners like you do, right?
Yeah.
So each card has 15 pieces of info on them, and there are 8 of them. And I've done the maths, right? That's over 10,000 pieces of information that the players have to remember. And don't check it. That's definitely correct. But anyway, now according to the book as well, right? The players are supposed to read and memorise these.
What?
Players don't read and memorise anything.
Yeah, let alone 1,000 pieces of information.
It's so it's not. It's more like in the realms of like lots, but not 10,000. But yeah, you're supposed to remember all of these. And I know players that don't even remember to wear trousers when going out.
Don't know what D6 is.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So the game is predicated on the fact that the cards are played in secret, right? But let's say you want to push past the guard slipping through quickly. You describe your action, and I'm GMing, right? I know you're going to pick speed, right? Because you've described it in a manner where I want to quickly get past him,
right? Really quick with a speed way.
So I could just pick consumption.
Because I know. You're going to beat it every time.
Right, so simple. Now, there's a way to get around this, because while Guy ran us through his game, he said any mana can be used for any task. So instead of saying I quickly nip past the guard, saying I'm going to run past the guard, keep it really vague and then just pick imagination for no reason. Instead, tricking the GM into picking the wrong card, and then I win, right?
Yeah.
What this means is there's 2 outcomes. Either the GM can very easily and readily decide when you fail arbitrarily, or the manners become essentially meaningless because you're forced to use unconventional ones all the time rather than playing.
Try and get around him.
Yeah, so because then you're not playing to your character's strengths.
And it's not a role-playing game.
Well, he knows my character's fast, so I'm going to use determination.
To be fair, we did actually end up having to do that because we knew that it's just like, well, I'm not going to go fast. I just told him
because he pulled consumption.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to use time.
I get around him in a manner which is not speedy, but also not slow, but then could be imaginative.
So, and he's like, so you want to go faster? And I'm like, no. Maybe it was asking.
And he had the consumption card in his hand. And
now what did happen a lot when we played it was that people would look at the cards and go, right, I'm going to use my speed too, right? Which is the last thing you want to do. But he said the game only works if you describe your action rather than saying specifically which manner you're using, because otherwise he can just fail it. But if you're describing your action, you're in a roundabout way describing which card you're picking.
Yeah, exactly.
So everyone at the table, right, would have fun describing scenes and their moves, only to tip the GM off about what they were doing, giving him carte blanche to hit you with a failure. So the game actively encourages less roleplay and creativity when it comes to describing your moves.
Yeah.
But it encourages randomly picking and saying nothing.
Yeah. How do you want to interact with his character? I don't know.
In some manner.
Card. Bang. Done. So you try and do a bit of roleplay, and then it just devolves into top trumps.
Yes, but top trumps where the other guy knows what you're putting.
Oh yeah.
What you're holding. Yeah. So, and not only that, right? But the conflict resolution takes so much longer than just rolling a dice. But more often, the results are roughly the same, but take longer because it's like, okay, I want to smash down the door. Oh, pick a card, any card. You put it down. He goes, I'm wondering, maybe yes, and he puts it down. Then you flip him over. He thinks of something to say, and you're like, well, I could have just rolled a fucking D6. Oh, a D20. Right?
Yeah.
Let fate
decide. To hit.
Chance even. Fate.
No, not fate. Let Savage Worlds decide, not fate.
Yeah, not fate. Definitely not that guy.
But yeah, so and that's the problem, right? He hasn't actually designed a game with its mechanics trying to emulate a feel or encourage a certain type of play. They've basically tried to be different for the sake of it. And his utter arrogance in his own concept led him not to test it very much and bring it to a con, right?
Yeah.
But I digress, right? The central mechanic is by far the worst part of mannerism, but there's a little bit more to cover here. Leveling up is really fucking stupid, right? So there's a page.
Quite arduous.
Is it?
It's arduous.
To level up, it should be a reward. It's like
So look at this advancement chart here, right?
Okay.
It's just it's like it cross-references every skill and every manner in the game, and every time you succeed at a combination of the two, right?
Yeah.
You tick a box on the chart. When you filled in a whole line, that's a bingo. Whichever
A whole
one,
column or row.
yeah, column or row. So if you filled up the one on the left, then you would get
like noughts and crosses.
yeah, but no,
collect-
but it's really
collect
clever,
all.
Nick. So you have to do that. So once again, right? Instead of saying like, "Oh, my character's good at force and good at social," ooh, oh, that sounds bad. He's good at force and social. You have to go. Well, in order to level up in social, I need to pick speed. So fuck it, I'll just use that for no reason.
Yeah,
so you walk into a room, go and try and tell someone a situation very fast. Yeah.
Only use speed because time is of the essence, all this stuff. So we had a lovely lady at our table,
Yeah.
and she exploited that weakness. And she fucking smashed it. She kept leveling up her shit because she
Throughout the
did
game.
exactly
'Cause she
that.
knew how to break it.
Within like the first turn when she did it, she goes, "Oh, you do that, and you have to do this, yeah." And it's like, "All right, cool." So every single turn she had, she ticked something.
She just picked something different
Wow.
every time,
She knew
just for the
exactly
sake
what
of
she
it.
knew
to level
just to
up.
get the
Yeah.
tick.
She knew exactly how to play it.
So not
But
through
she was-
experience of the game.
Yeah,
It's just
through her own experience of RPG.
Just looking at a grid and going,
she was
"I know
just
what I
like,
need
right,
to-"
well, this is easy to, well, no, not min-max, but she literally
Manipulate.
played exactly
Well,
how
she played
she
it how he
needed to.
designed it,
Yeah.
and
it's not a role playing.
And she was cracking
No.
as well. She was.
It's bingo.
We had
Yeah.
see, the
Yeah.
players at the table
Were really
were fantastic.
The game let it down.
It was a laugh
Yeah.
playing with them. They were
Yeah.
really good, really
It's
good.
just the game that let it down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
it was
time.
really complicated.
That's
It
annoying.
kind of hurt my face when we were sitting there.
Yeah,
Just like,
I'd be like,
I just remember leaving the room, and as we were going down the hallway, Sean had his head in his hands. He's like, "That was the worst game I've ever played." But as we've already discussed, though, it's in your best interest to use skills and manners to intentionally bamboozle the GM. Anyway, so as James has rightly pointed out, this lady just went for bingos the whole time because you could just use whatever the fuck and just
Fuck
go.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
Fuck
Using
it.
different skills and manners all the time, just to try and fill in these boxes because let's be honest, the manners are pretty much meaningless anyway. So rather than playing to your strengths and improving organically, the game encourages you to use different shit constantly for the sake of it. So suddenly, right, you get to the point where nobody specialises in anything. All the characters are roughly the same at goodness of anything. And they just some characters might have a better bonus to stuff because of their trait, but you'd be an idiot to use your actual traits because
Yeah,
the
come
GM
on.
will bum.
you know what's
bamboozle you.
coming, and he'll just consume you.
Yeah. So magic.
There's more.
We're nearing the end. You basically just make it up, right? There are different schools of magic, and they have their own linked manners and their own complication cards associated with
Okay.
them. The difference being that all spells start at 0, but you just have to kind of use them to level them up. So you try and win without any bonus. But if you thought it was easy for the GM to exploit skills, it's even easier for him to exploit your magic. Because let's say I want to do a spell to create an illusory wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The
nice.
GM,
Sounds simple.
Sounds
the
simple.
GM looks down at his list and thinks his complications, right? He thinks, I wonder what type of school he's using. Divination? Nope. Evocation? Nope. Enchantment? Nope. Illusion? I wonder if it's that one. And it's like, well, once again, you've got me. So you have to be really vague. You have to try and do spells that fit into all 5 categories.
Oh, because you don't know which one it is.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so annoying.
Or just straight up fucking lie.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
be like, oh yeah, I'm enchanting this sword. Or am I? And then you pick up the illusion card. Psych! It was all illusion! But now there's a GM section here, right? And it even suggests being really vague about everything. And I wonder what type of crack these two were smoking when they came up with this, because it's discouraging roleplay.
Yeah, it is.
Creativity.
It's like the anti-role-playing game.
It's anti-creative. It's anti-role-playing. And it doesn't even have dice, which is... There are good systems that do that.
Yeah.
But I will say the coolest part, and the part that I liked, was when you're rolling against other players.
Okay.
That was really...
PvP was fun because, well, at least Harrison and the guy that we said who was very assertive.
No, let me
somewhat
finish.
arrogant but amazing.
He was my rival.
Yeah, rival. But so
Okay.
the great
Did
thing
you guys
was
decide that, or did the GM?
Let James finish, Nick. Sorry.
the great thing is that at the table he was being like a proper dick, but every now and
In
then
character,
he'd pull back the curtain and be like, by the way, this is my character doing it, but he was perfectly in character.
Wow.
But also they psyched each other out, so that's why it was really good.
We had our cards, and then it would be, and I'd be like, right, I'm going to punch him in the face, and then he was like, okay, what do you want to use to defend that? And I would say, by the way, I'm picking speed, trying to do a double bluff on him. And then that was the most fun part, because when you're rolling against each other, you start getting into the mind game.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, you're doing this with a GM the whole game, and I think that dynamic sucks. But when you're doing it with the players, it was really fucking cool, because you have to try and bluff. You have to try.
So what I'm getting from this is, it's not a role-playing game. Remove the whole GM function and turn it into a PvP card game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's how it would work.
Yeah.
Okay, with a fantasy feel.
Because the
GM should put all the descriptors there, and he should just explain what's going on. But everything that's happening should be the players at the table.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he can bring NPCs in it, but then
the only
again,
thing is
just
that
describe what happens.
that kind of same mechanic is how you play against the GM in this game.
Yeah.
But it creates an atmosphere where it's like the GM is out to fuck you, and he has all the tools to do it.
That would be
right.
that would make me so mad.
But the PvP was fucking cool.
Yeah.
And aside from a few tips about running the game, the bookie's essentially over. We have the cards at the back, the character sheet, and 4 example bad guys in there. And I can't fault him for the limited section of enemies because it's a short book anyway. But I just need to highlight one of them. The Bashrog, right? It's not a rename of a Balrog or Balrog from Street Fighter, as you might expect. But it is. Its description reads a double-boned abomination. That is it, right?
Double-boned.
Now, he likely means double-jointed or something like this, right? But double-boned. First off, my mind went to dicks, obviously. And
Class, man.
because I am every bit as immature as Guy thinks I am.
Yeah.
And, but second of all, imagine a creature with only 2 bones.
Just folding all over the place.
Folding and folding and folding. Oh my god, there's a hinge. It's coming our way.
Cursed hinge.
Oh god. But I imagine it being sort of 2 bones, bit of skin on the outside. On one side is a face, and it just looks like it's having a horrible time. Before we end though, I just want to spotlight the only other page in the book that talks about the setting. Now I've mentioned fires and shit in the library, right? And he addresses this by saying that fire making tools are strictly rationed in the POG library, and also kitchens and forges are fit with fire-safe doors. He also mentions that new tunnels are constantly being dug, but we'll come back to that, right? Now, safety doors are all well and good, but in mines and caves, right, you do have fire damp, which is a type of methane found in coal beds which explodes, as I exploited that in the Pathfinder game, because I've been reading a book about a mine recently.
Very good.
Basically, the last thing you want anywhere near an underground network of tunnels is a fucking forge, because even miners, they use very dim, safe lanterns, right? But apparently they've got a fucking cafeteria down here and a forge. I mean, that's
a fucking blacksmith there.
Yeah. So, and which do you think is faster, right? Some cunt closing a fucking safety door or an explosion, right? That's all I'm going to fucking say. Now,
what are they fantasy safety doors? Are they like half-hour burn limits, like kitchen regs for like buildings?
Yeah. Well, that's what it's got to be, man. There's the health and safety officers are non-existent in this universe. Now, you could say I'm nitpicking, right? But Guy was the one, and Laura, who felt the need to bring it up again because he knows the reader's thinking, what if a book catches fire? And he reckons he's got it covered. But all he needed to do was do like the barest bit of research and know that the very idea of keeping an active library next to an active forge and the cafeteria is fucking stupid. And also several working mines. Admittedly, I read a book about it recently, so it happens to.
I know.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to write an RPG about mines and libraries and caves. So
Why not?
Why not?
Well, I will now. The idea is mine.
Yeah.
But also, think about it, lads. Cafeteria, miners, engineers, blacksmiths, right? So the list of people allowed in a secret repository of deadly weaponry include a handful of people who can clean the floor, a lunch lady, a group of builders, a bloke who uses a fire all day long that might just casually wipe everyone out in an instant. So what's the purpose of all this? Well, the book tells us that the PC's day's work might be including shifting rubble from the mines. Yeah. Whoa, wow. To new wing or moving books to new wings of the library, right? Ooh. Now, I might be in a mongoloid here because new wings of the library. Aren't these books currently banned, in the most low security way possible?
Why would they be expanding the library?
Exactly. Why are new ones getting made? What's going on?
There's also a print. There's also a publishing print down there as well.
Yeah, they're going to recategorize them. So they're going to do them in sort of alphabetical order,
10 feet apart.
10 feet apart. Yeah. Because then if one sets on fire, the others
There you go.
probably will be right.
That's the problem that they're trying to solve.
But anyway, that's mannerism, ladies and gentlemen.
So one thing I know that we mentioned it in UK Games Expo, but he made us role play 2 groups and 2 scenes. One was political, and that was Harrison, his great foe, and that was great. And the other one was the soldiers, the foot soldiers going underneath. And so we were like fighting and getting through the mucky stuff, dungeon crawling.
Yeah.
But he split us off into 2, so there was 2 completely different dynamics at the table separated out. And while it was fun, I feel like you should just choose one.
Yeah.
Because you wanted it all to come to a head at the end, and it felt very forced.
It was like everything. It was very
What's
very
remarkable
separate.
is, right, I just want to point out that he. At one point, these guys are going through the mines, and they find a secret old prison down there, and there's this ogre, and they see some water down below, and he says, "You don't want to go in there. That's where I shit." I'm like, so it's okay when you do it, is it? Fuckface.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. It's just like, what?
I'm raw for one.
Oh, do you remember sorry, not remember. Or maybe he was trying to like bring it back and sort of pad out the fun that we had earlier.
Maybe he's trying to make it fun again.
Yeah.
Make America fun again. From Dave Johnson. So,
Dave Johnson.
yeah, I think like its biggest flaw is the central mechanic, and if that doesn't work, what have you got? I mean, that's the trouble.
Apparently, according to you, a pretty good coaster.
Yeah, it really does the job. Really does this. It's thoroughly absorbent as well, so that's good. But I just want to. I'll tell a quick story here about why this game is not coming out, because during this game that we played, right, which was essentially a play test of a supplement for a game that doesn't exist, we got to the end of the game, right? And what happened is the miners now realise, I can't remember the exact story, but they were being led on a wild goose chase by their sergeant. Me and the sergeant are now fighting. I reveal that he was my dad the whole time for a laugh. And then we get into the point where everything's coming to a head. We're about to go into a full-blown war, and all of the player characters are arguing. That should be what you want from that type of scenario,
totally.
right? We finally figured out what everyone's doing, and we're getting up in each other's business.
Yeah.
And while we're all shouting at each other, we look over, and Guy he's got both hands over his face, and he's just sitting there like his life is falling apart. He spent 2 years in lockdown making this. The system fundamentally didn't work. And then Sean, I only noticed because I was standing up shouting across the table. Sean tapped me on the arm and just pointed to him. The guy just looked like he was weeping.
He literally like went like that, and like
He just pointed right at him, like, obviously. And fucking as the game wrapped up, I just see him, he's bewildered, looking down at the table like in bewilderment.
He was
just
red-faced as well.
He goes, I think I need to rewrite the system. It's like, I just saw 2 years of a man's life
Go down the
toilet. So he realised it was not very good.
How did you end up with a copy?
So he gave them out to us.
They were waiting on the table.
To get rid of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone got a free copy of it. But he said he play tested it before at a different
Yeah,
time.
with
and
fucking
his
Sam
mates.
Jackson. I don't imagine the fucking people were concentrating at the table.
I was all looking at Sammy Boy.
Right.
When's Volume 2 coming out? Second edition.
So
Keep you posted.
he's going to have Dyson this time. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so this was going to be released. This was as far as I know, the first public playtest of it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very
And
much back on the drawing board.
Yeah, I mean, the drawing board has been erased entirely, and he's starting again. Yeah, it doesn't work. Fundamentally, from a very fundamental standpoint, it doesn't work. The setting is stupid, but it could be cleaned up a little bit and made good.
And the PvP stuff's bagging.
Exactly. So there are good things to like about this, and no, actually, there aren't many. But the PvP's good. The setting could be good with a drastic rewrite.
I was just going to retcon that. Banging is a strong term.
Okay,
PvP, as Harrison pointed out, is good. Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
What makes it banging is the players.
You need the players.
Yeah. If you get into it and you get devious,
Okay.
that's where it
I
really
just need
works.
to point that out because it's still flawed, but that was enjoyable.
But that might have been you guys trying to find a different angle to have some fun.
Oh, it was. I mean, it factually was.
Do you know, at one point, did we go for a break during this game? We didn't, did we?
What?
No,
How
we
long did
did.
Go for 3 hours.
Because
No, we did. We literally all got up and left.
Oh yeah. James went to get a beer 4 times, I think, during the game. Was that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And this was in the middle of the afternoon as well.
We got
Mate, I was just fucking off and sinking them, mate.
What
I
was
like,
the?
oh, mate, this
how long
is-
was you playing for?
Like a normal 4-hour session, yeah.
Wow.
Normal sesh? We didn't meet the 4-hour mark.
Yeah. Any
Uh,
maps, minis, anything?
Oh,
What? No.
No,
what?
no,
Oh,
no.
wait, there was a bit of a...
No.
There was a bit of a map, but he had a really nicely drawn one. It was weird because everything was done in felt tips, I feel like. Even the cards were definitely, I feel like he coloured them himself. They look exactly how they look in the book, but hand coloured.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had quite a nice sort of dungeon crawl map thing going on where it was overground and underground merging together weirdly.
Cool.
I think where they're meant to cross paths at certain points. So quite well thought out that section, but I feel like it would be nicer for us to see it.
Well, yeah.
Because it was really nice, and he could just cover it up and then just slowly reveal as we go.
Yeah,
along.
totally.
And
You're a strange man, guy.
and
Well,
Laura.
I don't know, Laura might be nice. So, yeah, should we do some electro letters? That's Mannerism, the worst game you've never heard of.
Can I
And
say?
Comments, please.
Again.
oh, what, the person?
Mannerism.
Oh, yeah, you can keep that if you want, mate. All right, let's do some electro letters. Should we go for a break first?
Yeah. Just bring this
Yeah.
with me.
In the future, you will be able to send a letter or parcel from anywhere on the planet. This, sir, is the electro letter.
Letter.
Okay, electro letters. This is your correspondence. The first one comes in from Tammy the Tiger.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a screenshot from somewhere, but anyway, it's this post is by somebody called Pixelated, and it says video games have buffering in air quotes. One of the DMs I play with has like 70 slips of paper that say loading with bits of random D&D mechanics advice. For example, partial cover grants +2 to AC that he slots into his DM screen when he needs to look something up, assemble something, or think up a mechanic for player bullshit. So it's pretty good. If he goes, right, I need to do the rulebook, he puts a loading screen there with a tooltip on it, like in Skyrim or something like this.
That's fun.
It's quite fun. The only thing that does come to my mind with that is that he's wasted more time changing, unless he just keeps one loading screen on. Otherwise, it's more time to change a loading screen.
Changes the loading bar as it goes up.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one card with the bar at like 5%. He keeps going up. Yeah, maybe he's just prolonging the moments where you're not playing the game.
Yeah, that's fun.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah, you know.
I just lowered my chair whilst talking. Aimless Loop. He says, do you like longer or shorter campaigns?
Both.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Obviously, I know. Actually, no, both. That's it.
My preference does lean towards longer, but I tend to just do a campaign until it reaches a natural end.
Yeah.
And I like to have endings. They're important. Not a lot of people do that, but yeah, it depends. If a campaign like Cyberpunk, for example, was only 10 episodes, but I felt like it ended at a good point with a lot of the characters dying. We did one last episode to wrap up where the players played policemen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just the perfect length. If we'd have kept it going, it might have become stale. So
Well, it's because of where it naturally did come to head.
Knowing that point, isn't it? And just,
It's like, well, it's a pretty good self-made conclusion. It didn't perhaps... Well, I suppose you purposely opened it up to allow us free reign.
yeah.
But we've had other games that have naturally been really good for ages. I think we played one for 6 months.
Yeah, well, Solomon came with 6 months.
Solomon
And then,
came,
of course, you had the Call of Cthulhu / Pathfinder campaign, which went on for about a year.
9 months.
Yeah. So, yeah, it just depends. If the campaign needs it, it's long. If it doesn't, it ain't.
It's short, isn't it?
Yeah, but Lassie, he says, heat wave or cold... He's got like a couple of quick questions here.
Yeah.
Heat wave or cold snap?
Cold snap.
Cold snap all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not good in the heat, and that heat wave recently really
bothered
fucked
me.
me over. It bothered me real bad. It bothered me right up the sweats.
Yeah.
2, he says, you had to pick one die to use for all of your RPG games, what die is it and why is it not a D50?
D20.
D200? Yeah, I love the D200.
Yeah, but I've got a giant metal D100 that
is
James
nice.
got me, and it's turbo heavy. I've packed it away now because my shelf was too full of crap.
Could roll off.
Yeah, could roll off and kill
bonk
someone. Yeah, that would be mine.
Yeah.
Definitely D100. James D20, Nick D.
I like a D8, to be fair.
Yeah.
Double diamond.
Do you want to take me on a D8?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, babes.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I am in a minute.
Well, I did have a D50 for a while. You bought me like a more sensible one, James.
Yeah.
That's just a red D50 that can like be added onto like the dice chain and DCC. But
The Oddbod dice and DCC are quite cool as well.
I
actually,
used to
be fair.
have one that was like 2 cones added together. Do you remember? And you
it's
kind
like
of
a
had to
spinning
roll
top.
it. Yeah, like a,
Yeah.
like a double
And you
sided.
had to like flip it.
That was funny.
It was
and it's
ugly.
like- and everyone would be sitting there like kind of studying it for ages going, is that a 5?
It's really ugly as well. Yeah. 3, best British dish to recommend to tourists. Now, my one I always go for is going to be go for an Indian.
Yeah.
Right, and I know that sounds stupid, but English Indian food is different to normal Indian food, and it's like the best type of takeaway you have.
Well, I was going to say doner kebab.
Yeah, that's good as well. For the Turkish listeners, that's a doner kebab.
Yeah.
But that's a good choice because
Okay, let's do non-takeaway then.
all of the British ones though are kind of boring.
Oh, fucking pie and chips.
Yeah,
Well,
pie and chips is good.
pie and chips.
Pie mash.
Pie mash.
mash,
Sorry,
man.
pie mash.
Yeah.
Pie mash. You got to get the. I forgot what they call it, but there's that
Liquor.
liquor that you put on it. Yeah, the green
jelly
stuff.
Alright, okay,
Well
that's
good.
it. I think we're settled.
Yeah.
Yeah, pie and mash, 100%. Don't go for a roast.
Oh,
Them-
roast are good.
Yeah,
but pie and mash is like.
Cornish pasty's decent as well.
I'm hungry. Getting me hungry.
Yeah, it's making me really hungry.
Cornish pasty,
Pie mash,
curry.
roast dinner,
Greg's.
curry. There's loads of good food.
Don't go to Greg's, man. I can't even remember the last time I went to a Greg's.
Greg's.
But it's the greatest thing to happen to the north.
We have so there's a Hertfordshire based bakeries called Simmons. You ever tried that?
I think I have actually.
It's alright.
Yeah,
It's not as good as Coughlin's.
You can't beat a Coughlin's, mate.
Coughlin's top 2 there. Yeah.
Ace, he says, most disturbing monster you've used or encountered and what made it creepy or disgusting.
The piano made out of a person.
Yeah, that was rough. Because we see this thing that's made out of stretched skin. You
was
start playing it.
horrible.
Every
Yeah.
note you press, it's like a scream. But what really freaked me out about it is when we lifted up the lid and it was all like the sinews and things sort of stringing. And we saw that the piano was breathing and a single eye, and it looked at us
Looking
like
around.
scared,
Yeah, it was
like
it was
it hated
disgusting.
being
It
in that
was
position.
disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was during a Castlevania type game
Played
in the
by-
Rippers
At
universe.
Savage Con.
Yes, and that was Connor Warden that did that one.
Very good. And I'm glad we all agreed on that. I think that must have disturbed us
I don't
that
think James
much.
was in that one.
I
though,
wasn't,
sadly.
but
terrifying. Quite terrifying.
Well, the thing that I was terrified
that-
most about was when we were fighting. Was it Mother?
The womb.
Oh
that was
yeah,
great.
on
that
the
was great.
first
Did a
Call of
cosmic
Cthulhu.
abortion, didn't we?
Yeah, it was
'Cause
like this
it was, it was-
incomprehensible thing, and I put on this really creepy music.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff.
was pretty good.
And I was like, I was getting high out of how like crazy the fucking situation became. And I was there just absolutely buzzing.
Yeah,
just
that was fucking
wow.
grim.
So that,
Yeah, also there's that monster from the actually quite good. Do you remember? What the fuck was it called? Below, beneath the inverted church.
Oh yeah,
And when he had his monster book, and there was it was a monster called Gif that was just a sort of a cock golem.
yeah.
That is scary.
That is pretty
If
scary,
that came at you,
the
in
amount of
literally,
sliz.
yeah,
Yeah.
there would be sliz all over the place.
Sliz,
You'd be
yeah.
covered in slunge.
Slizzled.
The Buttman, he said, would gelatinous cubes be more appealing if they had different flavours or fruits inside?
Oh mate, that sounds a bit yummy. That.
Yeah.
I've since reading the fantastic book Jam, where man-eating jam covers Brisbane.
Yeah.
I always make it so that the gelatinous cubes smell a certain way, so that you know what type they are. So
Nice.
a green one smells like lime.
Limes, yeah.
You're like, it suddenly becomes unsettling when you're going through a cave and you just suddenly smell strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is freaky. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would be more appealing. And actually, you could be like, if your players are absolutely starving, be like, somebody's left a big old tub of jelly here.
Let's eat him.
And then you just start to eat it. It worms its way inside your insides.
Blows you up.
Yeah, definitely have flavoured cubes.
Please.
He also says, what is a mechanic from another game system you want to plan or plan to import to your next Savage Worlds game, and why?
And away. We've have we not pinched?
It's a hard one.
Normally we pinch stuff from Savage Worlds and put it in like Dramatic Task. Or,
Yeah. Well, I have seen, and this is something I like to do. I have seen people do quote unquote 0 level funnels in Savage Worlds, where instead of it being a wild card where you take 3 wounds to die,
you're an extra,
and you have 1 wound before you die. Yeah, so I think that's
pretty cool.
There's a great by Cole Kieser. There's a great one shot that he made, Trailer Park Shark Attack.
Yep.
Where it's all these sharks are coming into a trailer park, and you essentially have a stack of characters that are all extras. When they run out, game over.
That's it.
But every time you lose one, you find another one stuck up a tree or
cool.
hiding in a box or whatever. So I say 0 level funnels to Savage Worlds works really well. Because of that, because of the extras system. But it's usually because Savage Worlds is so mechanically good. It's usually I take things from that and put it into other games. It's not the other way around.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
because we borrowed Benny's, didn't we, for something?
And cards for initiative. And all of this stuff. Like just it's unfortunate that it's quite as good as it is because we don't really have an interesting answer.
It's true.
The only other thing that we've sort of nabbed, but although it's now part of it, is the story token aspect. We have done it, but it's not something that we regularly do. The influencer story, because that's now...
Oh, I know what we've done as well. When we're playing online games, I can't remember what game encourages it, but we've done the Spotlight thing. You know, when Spotlight...
ICRPG
trait. Like ICRPG or Powered by the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Use
that a bit.
There we go.
Because that's what made Tough Guys so much fun playing online. Because instead of everyone talking at once, we just spotlight players. Yeah, there we go. We've answered it. Woohoo! Sid the Squid, he says, I'd like to hear your best American English accent, but not Texas, not Southern or cowboy. So you have to do an American accent.
Okay.
Why don't you take a book off that shelf up there and read the back of it. Go for Barrow Maze on the right there.
Where's that over here?
Down. Blue one.
Blue one.
So it can't be a cowboy accent, but you've got to read like a sentence or two in an American accent.
Barrow Maze will keep you playing.
No, you've done it. You went straight into it.
Barrow Maze will keep you playing. No,
that's you've done it. Okay. You've done Southern Prospector
let me try,
there.
I'm trying to think of New York, Boston.
Do like what's his name, Mark Hamill from Mad Men.
I don't know. I haven't seen Mad Men.
All right, give me the book. I'll give it a go.
You go first.
Barrow Maze will keep your players on their toes and your campaign going strong for years.
That's Southern.
Yeah, that's what Southern. That was fucking
Hang on.
Cowboy.
Barrel Maze will keep you... I've just done it but deeper. I can't.
Woo! Yeah!
Barrel Maze will keep your players on their toes and keep your campaign going for strong for 10 years. Yeah! Make America great again.
Hyperborea.
Barrel Maze includes art by TSR artists Errol
I'll do
Otis,
Surfer Dude.
Tim Truman, and Jim Holloway, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I can say to that now.
There we go. Hyperborea, dude. All right.
Barrel Maze is the touchstone dungeon of the USR, man.
I'll try and do an American gangster.
You were the best man at my wedding. How could you betray me like that?
Look,
You fucking asshole.
look, I got swords. I got sorcery.
Yeah, try New
and I got
England.
weird swines.
Get in the choir.
There you go.
Okay.
Swords, sorcery, and weird swine
Hey, I'm walking here. Hey. Barrel Maze is the best OSR dungeon.
What have you made us do?
You fucking... It's racism is what it is. Because,
Hello?
it's Dave Johnson, everyone.
Oh, you're right. What's up, mate?
He heard us.
Black people... No. Illithid, he says, do you snack while gaming? If so, what are your favourite choices?
Too much.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a couple more questions here, but we'll say our current favourites, because we have answered this question maybe a couple of years ago.
Chocks and Bix, or Bissies.
We got Bissies at the table, but the ones we had last time were those Fox's biscuits that are chunky with the loads of chocolate.
The chunky ones, the fat chunky ones that are half coated with chocolate.
That's a good Bissy, right? I like a Chrissy as well. Like
a Chrissy with your busy.
Like we like the tubes of Prongles because they're easy to move.
They've got some pretty great flavours around at the moment as
we've
well.
got some new ones popping off.
Chili ones.
Oh, yeah,
chili
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Well, I can tell you
Jellies.
You got to have some jellied sweets.
Yeah.
You got to have some Vimtos.
Remember the one time I bought carrots and hummus?
Oh, yeah.
And only I ate it.
No,
And
I had
you had
some
a
too.
couple, Failure. You need to have stodgy, fatty foods, really.
You have to have
What about
like, sugar foods.
when Thingy made the rows of chicken nuggets?
Don't mention that to James. He gets annoyed about
He
it.
used fucking like a whole,
He used 21p's worth of ketchup.
mate.
For those that don't know, one of my friends, Phil, he came to the game and he cooked some chicken nuggets in James's oven, made a rose out of them, and then put a
Well,
bowl of
it
sauce.
kind of just put them all around in a circle. But
I
then
can't
he
believe
put
you're
like
still angry about this.
no, because I'm not angry about it.
You sound angry.
I'm not that angry.
I saw him recently, Nick, Phil, and I told him, I was like, James still sometimes mentions that, man, and he was sort of annoyed, and Phil got annoyed in return. He's like, what the fuck, it's only like 20p's worth of sauce.
It's I kind of blame myself because you remember he was like, "Do you want anyone?" And I jokingly went chicken nuggets, and he actually
Then
did
we
do
went to
that.
Sainsbury's, and he was like, oh, James is gonna shit when he sees this.
I'm gonna buy a sack of them.
Yeah. I'll get you a new ketchup, man. It's all right.
Ketchup and mayo.
Oh, don't take the piss. But yeah, favourite choices in a moment. Yeah, we've got the Pringles are definitely on the go. Donuts are pretty good, but they can be a bit hand
messy.
greasy.
And beezy.
He follows up saying, "Why can't I buy Tim Tams in the US anymore?" Sorry to burst your bubble, illicit, but those are an Australian candy. I get that the
Tim Tam.
the accents sound quite similar, mate.
What, mate? Sash, fucking hell, Sass, mate. Oh, fucking hell,
How's
mate.
it going, cunt, mate? Yeah,
Sass,
mate, mate.
All right, mate, cunt.
Have you seen Sassy the Sasquatch?
Sasquatch.
I'll show you later.
The way you said that.
Go on, Sass, mate.
You ever done a Tim Tam slam before, though, illicit?
No.
Do you know what Tim Tam slam is?
No.
So what you do, you get a hot drink,
Yeah.
you bite off one corner of the Tim Tam,
Yeah.
you bite off the other corner, the opposite one, and you go suck
through.
it into it, and then eat the whole thing, and you get a nice mouthful of warm coffee and sort of like melty biscuit.
You could do have a Twix
Yeah, you could, or a penguin.
and a timeout.
A penguin is a chocolate bar, just to let people.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah, you can do it with it.
Penguins are top tier biscuit to do it with, definitely.
Rocky, hello.
Rockies are decent.
Rockies are the best one for it, mate. Because they're almost like a Tim Tam.
Are they?
Yeah.
Right.
I used to work with a guy from Australia, and he's always used to bring them in for us, and I fucking love Tim Tams. But yeah, if you can't find him in the US, you want to speak to
Australia.
who's the Prime Minister there at the moment?
I don't know his name.
Uh,
Go with the glasses.
yeah, guy with the bloke with the glasses. He says, any tips on meeting new gamers? I've recently got a car and I'm going to try running RPGs at the game stores to poach any decent players I can find for home games and make sure they're not crazy before I give them my address.
Go to the appropriate store's Facebook and then put an ad out there, because then you know that the people that are frequenting it will see the post.
That's a great idea.
And post it for online games as well.
And then you can run a couple and just be like, oh, let's do a meet and greet. I'm going to do a one shot.
Yeah.
And then you can invite them to
Bring
your
them all home.
address.
Bring them all.
I think that's a good idea, going there to vet them.
Yeah.
And then eventually just going, fuck you, store.
Actually,
Fuck
guys,
you,
wanna come to
Spider-Man.
mine?
But
Spider-Man.
But in some sort of less good advice, set up. It's summer right now, right? Unless you're in Australia.
Yeah, set up a table somewhere
Yeah, like in the
Don't
middle of your
matter.
town. Just
Yeah.
be like, players
in
needed.
the middle of the road.
Players need. No, not in the middle. No, let's not. Look, I'm not being. I'm not
Up a
fucking
tree.
about. James,
So,
stop running over my idea. But yeah, so you set up a table just on the front of it. Players needed. Couple of D&D books, and then in bigger letters, free beer. Right.
Whoa,
All you
done.
do, you buy 10 beers, put them in a cooler. People
Yeah.
come over, you give them a beer.
Hide behind your GM screen. So
And then
someone walks up.
you chat. Yeah, then you pop up. You're in a cave. No, then you interview them, right?
but imagine if you
And suddenly you've got a game full of homeless people.
drunk.
No, but what if you write it PLAYAZ needed, and then loads of these like fucking load of these playboys come along and they're
You see
like,
a bunch of like pimps just walking up, just like
My kind of game.
Hey, you needed a plate.
That's me.
My name's Smooth Jess. Smooth bitch. Sweet. All right. So yeah, good idea. Dr. Mumson. He says MySpace or Google Plus.
MySpace all the way.
Google Plus was good.
I loved RPG Google Plus.
Yeah.
Right,
It was the
yeah,
best.
but MySpace all the way.
My,
It's still
but
alive.
on Google Plus, you can't have your
It's
own
still
page
alive.
with fucking Papa Roach playing and loads of gifs
Yeah,
and
exactly.
skulls on it. And that.
yeah.
No, but the Google Plus community
Was amazing.
the best community that,
That was
ever
when it was
existed.
on fire.
Yes,
But then they
The
shit
industry
on
was
it.
on fire.
I more or less met my wife on MySpace, so it's good. Yeah. Well, I got her email address and then started talking to her on Hotmail.
MSN.
Hotmail.
Oh yeah,
MSN Messenger.
MSN.
Yeah, boy.
Remember that little noise you could make when you nudged them, and the whole screen shook.
Yep. Do you remember that phase I went through where I was stealing people's passwords and pretending to be them?
Yeah.
It was me and my friend Alex, and we did it under the name, what was it, Stylus. And we were like, I've taken your account. I've taken it. And when we hacked James's, I don't know if I can say it, but I won't put the end of the email in, but it was Jesus Dude Man. And then he had to create a new one, and it was called Jesus Dude Man X.
Nice. I remember years ago.
No, but they sent a mass email, and it went to some of my cousins. It also went to my English teacher.
They used to get chat rooms. Do you remember when everyone used to go into chat rooms all the time? It was a big thing. And then there was one, I can't remember what platform it was now, but you could it was voice chat, but only one person could hold the microphone at a time. So if you held your finger down, you literally, a whole chat room had to listen to you talking. My mates in the late 90s just used to prank the shit out of that.
Well, when Elden Ring came out, they've got this new thing on Reddit where members of the community can all do one big talk together. And you do a get together. When Elden Ring, so this shows how lame I really am. But it was so stupid because I saw it. I was like, and Millie came in. She was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "There's some people chatting on here about Elden Ring, and I want to try and." So the mod has to click you and put you into the chat.
Right.
So I want to try and get on there and just ruin it. And she was like this, and I was posting over and over again. I really want to say something. Let me edit. I really want to say, and they put me in there. And I was like, and they just went off. It's like so immature.
muted.
Yeah, MySpace all the way. I think my band's page is still up there actually. DJ
Excellent.
Shit Bitches. I think it's myspace.com/DJSB. So I don't know. Look at it. I don't know if you can actually hear the songs anymore, but yeah, it's there. There's
Still
pictures
there.
of us on there.
Still there.
Bargle the Infamous. He says pork pies, standard rations or iron rations. Does anyone know what this means?
No.
Because I
What
think
rations? Iron.
so. Standard ration. I don't know why does it say pork pies? I'm trying to decode that because standard rations, right? Those are things in England you get biscuit fruit and biscuit brown, right? One of them has got a stool blocker in it. I think that's the fruit one. And what you do, you eat that when you're going out on a mission.
Yeah, okay.
I'm so sorry.
He's got the COVID
Yeah.
again.
No,
It's much worse.
so you eat that. Go out on a mission. You don't shit for like 5 days.
Right.
Then when you get back to the barracks, you eat biscuit brown.
And that gives you the post.
Yeah. But the only thing I know is that iron rations are the ones that contained canned meats. Right?
Okay.
So I don't know why a standard ration would be in a pork pie, just with biscuits in it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about, but essentially, let's standard rations or iron rations. I go iron because that was where you got spam, you got corned beef,
Peaches.
Oh yeah, mate.
peaches.
Yes. Yeah, I'll go iron rations.
There's a fantastic. This is also kind of lame, but there's a fantastic channel, and
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, Steve MRE.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so funny. He unboxes old rations, like he gets ones that are like
So good.
100 years old, and things
Yeah.
like this, and he unboxes them and eats the contents because a lot of the stuff was preserved in some way.
Yeah.
But even the stuff that isn't, he'll eat a bit of it and he's like, "Yeah, that's really rancid," and then he tries a bit more and he's like, "No, that's real gnarly. The smell in here." And he's got such a calming voice. But the thing is, what he does is he unboxes everything, puts it on a table, and on every video, he shows a shot of him putting it on the table. Then he goes, "All right, let's get this out onto a tray." And then it cuts to it on a tray, and he goes, "Nice." But there was one I saw where he's eating 100-year-old rations of beef, and the can had all bloated up, and he was eating it. And he says it's like his way to connect to that part of
That world,
history, and
yeah.
I love that.
That
But he also had some 100-year-old fags, and he smoked them as well. There was a pack of 2 Marlboros in there, and he was just like, "You really get that good flavour."
Now some 100-year-old whiskey.
Yeah, it's such a good channel, and like when he gets he does modern ones as well, but when he gets the ones that are like really old, the joy in his voice, he speaks like a surfer dude, but like he'll be like, "This is for a ration eater, this is just one of the best things I could ever find, man.
Nice.
I'm gonna smoke these. Let's get this out onto a tray. Nice." Yeah, it's so weird, but I watched quite a few of them, and they're very, very amusing. Some of them are like 2 hours long and things like this, but yeah, very good. He also follows up saying, "Deck of many things, useless novelty item or classic D&D tradition."
Classic D&D tradition.
Oh yeah, love it.
We've had a laugh of it, yeah.
And he says, "Tomb of Horrors, useless novelty dungeon or classic D&D tradition." I like it. I mean,
like-
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, it's Tomb of Horrors is like a real meat grinder,
Yeah.
but it's a good laugh.
Yeah, it's a good
It's
laugh.
a good
I
laugh.
think it's a class.
D&D
Classic.
Classic.
Thief of Whispers. Oh, he says, also, what are the Oscars? Oh, I fucked it up. He says, also, what are some current takes or opinions in the RPG community that irritate you? I've got to be honest, I have recently very much distanced myself from social media altogether, so I don't really see that very often.
Exactly the same. I think we got quite aerated a few episodes back, but I can't remember why now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It shows we're positive.
yeah,
We're very
exactly.
positive.
Yeah, that's right.
Some opinions. I'll tell you what one of them is, right, and this kind of goes back into the main subject thing. I've seen these groups popping up every now and then about literary RPGs,
Right.
where they're trying to be something more, and it's all about meaning and acting and all of this stuff, and it's like. It's not about fun. It's about going there and getting deep into character and having emotional experiences. That,
Right.
and
Sounds
it's
a
like,
bit weird.
but
Sounds
you know
like a
what?
drama club.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
it's
a-
like a
it's
it's like a drama
seance.
club.
Yeah.
And Eli Kurtz is part of a lot of those groups, and you can kind of tell if you read his book. What the fuck was that called?
Oh, I've got it.
It's about the hedges. It's about Wuxia. Anyway, doesn't matter. Just look him up. But yeah, that annoys me, and I think that was kind of the route that that Guy and Laura were trying to go down for mannerism.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
totally,
It's like
yeah.
but literary RPG. That's all RPGs. They're books,
Yeah,
mate. So
yeah,
they're,
come on, mate.
they're literally literature.
It's something like Blackbush or something like that.
Oh, the Blackwood.
Blackwood, there you go.
the Black Bush. That's something very different.
Is it Blackwood?
Yeah, it's Blackwood.
Yeah.
It is. But no, he didn't just call it the Blackwood. He called it the Blackwood Errantry Codex.
Yeah, that's the boy.
I
I don't know why I'm so excited about that.
Errantry being going out and being a knight, Codex being book. So,
Yeah.
all right.
All
Nick,
right.
stop looking at your phone.
I was checking
Porn.
book.
Porn book.
But it actually came up that he's on IMDb as well, but I don't know if it's him.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's why he's into that type of thing, yeah. Why is it that Powered by the Apocalypse is a system for limp-wristed soy boy ball ticklers and OSR makes your dick bigger? Well, I actually am a big fan of both. I like
Yeah,
old school,
same, yeah.
I like new school. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. If I'm really into OSR, which I am,
Yeah.
and I've recently played PTBA, that means I have like a normal sized penis.
Yeah, yeah. Right, it's right down the middle.
It's 2 inches, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's so. That's
Yeah.
normal. I mean, that's above
Yeah.
average.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well,
slightly.
Yeah.
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 Only
Isn't
so-
it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
I think
is,
so.
isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Good.
That
Yeah,
is
I mean,
that,
it is.
but it's funny because I think what he's done there is that's kind of opinion that people have in the OSR. It's like,
Yeah.
they think that PTBA games are all about talking about feelings and living in a high school or whatever. But it's
Well, no,
like
they're talking about mannerisms. That's what
Mannerisms,
yeah. if you are going for that type of game, that does not sound the type of game I would want to play.
No.
But PTBA can be brutal and shit like this. I mean,
Yeah.
Root was pretty nasty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so but OSR does make your dick bigger, so you got to buy more books. You do.
I like rolling the big dice.
Big dicks.
Polish Ogre 8. Have you checked out Hard Suit by Runehammer yet? No, I don't even know what it is.
Hard Suit.
Also, tofu or chicken skewers with satay sauce.
Both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both.
both.
I like tofu,
Well,
but you got to do something with tofu.
I prefer
Can't eat it
chicken.
by itself, can you?
I got. I
boring.
fucking love tofu. Do you know you get the silken one, the soft one, right?
Yeah.
In
yeah.
Japan, I had a dish that was just that raw with an egg cracked on top of it.
See, that's
Cold.
nice. No, that would be nice.
Yeah, so the egg is sort of like a sauce for it.
Oh, mate,
just a
there's,
raw
like,
egg.
there's a type of dim sum where it's
Well, good.
tofu that's been flattened out really thin, almost like a pancake, and then you get 2 bits of beef and some veggies, and it's like rolled up into a pancake roll, so it's like a tofu pancake. Oh, mate, that's...
I love eating tofu on its own though. I guess I'm a bit weird, but it's subtle, but it's such a nice flavour.
It does taste good. It's like like paneer, isn't it? Like paneer, you have to cook something with.
That's a funny fact, actually. We went to, for those that don't know, Americans probably don't know what paneer is. It's Indian cheese,
Yeah.
cottage cheese, and we went to an Indian restaurant for when my mum was visiting, and Sean didn't realise he's a vegan sort of, but he didn't realise it was cheese, and he's like, "Oh, paneer curry," and he got it, and I was at the end. I'm like, "Sure, do you feel good now you've had some cheese?" And he was like, "What?"
Yep.
He's like, "I thought it was like tofu."
Same consistency.
fucking
Yeah. Oh man, I had sorry to diverge yet again, but I had a curry from down the road. Do you know?
Yeah. Rachitas.
Yes, Rachitas. And he said to me, right? I ordered a paneer tikka, right? And
nice.
he says to me, he goes to me, "You want that one, yeah?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "The one with the cheese in it." I'm like, "Yeah. Why is that weird?
Why
Like,
not?
That's a normal fucking curry dish."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "All right." I've got it home. It's a bunch of chickpeas with a light dusting of tikka powder on it and cheddar cheese. What? All just melted. I don't know what they were smoking.
What is he doing?
Yeah, awful. Absolutely awful. Right, Big York Rex. Oh no, so tofu or chicken skewers with satay sauce.
Chicken skewers, yeah.
Big York Rex, new D&D movie trailer, trash or garbage?
Oh, I've seen a bit of it. It actually
D&D
looks
movie.
Uh,
quite good.
Yeah, there's a D&D. There's some good people in it, as far as I remember. But,
Good people.
Yeah, the effects look pretty fucking sick. But I was watching it over the shoulder of someone who had it small on their screen, so maybe.
Did they know you was watching it?
Yeah, they were. But I was
good.
I was busy doing stuff because I was at work, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's cool. And they were kind of trying to show me the whole trailer, and I couldn't hear it, so I was like, well, this is really boring.
So it's going to be. It's got Chris Pine, who's that?
Okay,
I don't know who that
Chris
is.
Pine isn't he Captain America?
No, he's Chris Pine.
Oh, he plays in Star Trek, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, and Hugh Grant.
Okay.
And I really rate Hugh Grant as an actor.
Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But we should watch the old one.
Yeah, totally.
The old one's got Jeremy Irons,
Okay,
Marlon Wayans. He plays some snails, apparently. What? That's fact of the week, certainly. 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, that old one.
Is it?
Yes. All right, well...
yeah, we should go to cinema and watch that.
Yeah, we should. We should do a review.
Oh, fuck it, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that'd be
We'll
good.
try and do it. Yeah.
What we try and do is analyse it from a gameplay perspective.
Yeah.
Like, be like, what we got to do is see if it's consistent with the book. Because I remember the old D&D movie. I only know this because somebody else said it. I'm not this much of a nerd. But it started out with a black dragon. But shut your fucking mouth. It started off with a black dragon breathing fire, and black dragons breathe acid. Actually, come on. 1 out of 10 Rotten Tomatoes. Well, that is it for questions, lads.
Yes.
Shall we do an outro?
Yes.
I'm gonna whoop ya.
Fish, hawthorn slices, and beef jerky. Not bad. Alright, let's get this out onto a tray. Nice. Okay, let's first start off with checking out the meat and vegetable bars.
Alright. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, was an episode. Next, in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing... I've gone really low here, lads.
He's deeply sunken.
I'm deeply deep. But we're going to...
No, it's rise.
Deserve that.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the actual play next. Hyperborea.
Yeah.
You got that to look forward to.
Hype about the Hyperborea.
Yeah, let's get the hype... let's make Hyperborea trending on Twitter.
Yes.
Well, I don't think we have the power to make anything trending on anything, but
no.
we can certainly. We're damn well going to try.
Hype it.
Should I send this episode to Guy McDonald?
No.
But because one.
No, you don't send it to them. That's the thing. You don't
just hope it gets to
You
them.
don't troll the people you're having a well-rounded discussion about. You wait for them to
but what
naturally.
if, in the spirit of mannerism, I trick him. I rename the episode "The Best Game I've Ever Played Ever."
Yeah.
Right. He looks at it, and I'm like, "Bam! I used my
really.
imagination. You thought I was using determination.
No, that's just mean.
Consumption don't quite fit
Is it
that.
what to trick him? I want my 4 hours back, James. No, it's a nice coaster, thoroughly absorbent. So no, I won't send it to him. Don't worry.
Someone else will.
Yeah.
Hopefully. All right. Well, contact details. We've got Discord. Go down there. It is in the link in the description on all the platforms for this podcast.
Yes.
We've also got Facebook, although nobody uses that anymore unless you're about
Twitter.
80. Twitter, we've got that. We don't even use that, but it posts our new episodes. So if you want to be notified, go on there.
Yeah.
And also email us at 3trpgpod@gmail.com if you still use email.
Yeah, if you still use that. And
Sling us a buck.
Yeah, sling us a buck if you'd like
please.
to support the show. Please
Please
do.
go to Patreon.
And check out our products on Drive Through RPG.
yes.
Soon to be on Roll20.
If you, hey, nice. He's tied it back. Well, we're not going to get better than that. Let's end it. I've been Harrison Hunt.
I've been Nick Lampslice.
I've been James Clark.
And remember that D20s are cool, but 20Ds, no, that's a good time.
Good bike.
Mannerism.
Mannerism.
Check him out, Bosch.